Alrighty, we are live. I want to talk about some things. Let's make this full screen. Full screen. 10 a.m. open was. Oops. 10 a.m. open was somewhere down here. Yes, I don't know why this blue line got moved. All right, so today I want to talk about daily profiles. Okay, I did not take a trade today. I missed this trade because on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, that candle before 10 a.m. was very confusing. ES hit all-time highs, so we should keep pushing. This 4 hour candle confused me, and I didn't know where we wanted to go. And then I missed this trade after realizing the daily profile. So daily profiles is basically, there is a YouTube video on it. I'll show y'all. Johnny has a good one, even though it's not really that clear the way he draws it. He doesn't draw it in like the actual sessions, but this is a good video, right? But they basically daily profiles is you'll see that usually, that's why I knew not to take, what's good, Tay? I knew not to take the sell trade. I mean, it happened in the afternoon, which is good, but this trade here, I had it marked and I went on live after the trading session. But daily profiles is basically when Asian and London are running up, which again, if you only trade reversals, you could have not traded today because this run up is very rare. I'm sorry to say. Like, it happens like 30% of the time. Like, enough to trade it, but not enough to like you don't have to learn it. But when Asian and London are running up, New York is running up. When Asian and London are trading sideways, you want New York by the time you're gonna chart to sweep either the sell side and go up the rest of the day, buy side and go down the rest of the day. And then on days like this, or London manipulates, you want New York to reverse and or distribute. There are days where London will be high like this. New York will already be down here when we get on the chart, and then we'll just run down. Again, another one, we traded sideways, swept sell side, ran up. You see what I'm saying? Sideways, swept sell side, ran up into a gap. So I want to back test daily profiles on the 1 hour chart today because, same with this one, sideways, sell side, ran up. But this was a day where this happened at 10 a.m. So this is 10 a.m. We took the trade down and then it ran up the rest of the day. But just daily profiles. Swept. This, I can't see the Asian one, but so I want to backtest that today with the 1 hour because what I saw today basically, which made me not get on a trade today, is we bounced off this gap, an hour gap, came into this gap, then ran up. That was a trade of the day for 10 o'clock, a nice 10 a.m. reversal. So I thought maybe we'd come back, bounce up here, and then continue lower for like a double top situation. I didn't like here to here. I didn't like that trade. That would have been a 1-2, not even a 1-1, that's why I didn't take it. But this to here is a 1-2, this 4 hour high. So it is what it is. But this 1 hour gap was great, and if you're obviously bullish today, that was a trade to take. And what I want to say, and one more thing. And then this trade is the same trade as this trade. I had this trade marked on my live to like trigger people to come in and actually work this sell trade. We pulled back a lot off this liquidity point, inverse this 3 minute fair value gap, ran down, or 5 minute, and then we had an inverse on this to go up. These are the exact same trade, and I want you to see that. So that's why like you can't really just trade reversals only. I used to, and I was profitable, but then eventually I got unprofitable. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people just trade, reversal, boom. Now, yes, if you take it liquidity to liquidity, I'm sure there's a liquidity point. This is a decent move if you just wanted it. But for the most part, you should kind of want an overall bias, to say the least, so you can take a longer trade, if that makes sense. Like this is just, you could take liquidity reversal without any higher time frame bias. So I want to back test today on that 1 hour chart. Just daily profiles. I'm not going to play this video, obviously, because I'm streaming on YouTube and it's copyright to play his. I would show y'all, I wish I can like pause it on some of them, but he's basically saying the same thing. Like you'll see it, and we're gonna backtest that now, and we're just gonna see how well it plays out. And we're just gonna sit on the hour chart. There's no point of sitting on a lower chart. Hour chart. No, not play. Speed up. Full screen. Okay. So basically, you can see it. You can see it here. All right. I mean, my sessions are not that bright. Asian and London traded sideways. New York swept sell side, reverse north to buy side. Asian and London, Asian's going down, London's going down, New York going down. So if Asian starts off it down or up instead of sideways, usually all the three sessions will follow. This day, not so much. This day we had Asian. This is the day I was talking about that I was trying to show. It's the same thing as this, but they look different. So it's basically like London technically manipulated, but we came up more in New York and then we finally distributed. But there will be days where, like this, where London manipulated to the downside, and then New York we're just continuing. We didn't get the reversal to continue. You see what I'm saying? You'll just have to see these profiles play out. So I want to see if these tap into, fair value gaps or something like this one for the profile, and then you waited for it to come down. This is obviously news. And then see if there's a gap down here. But yeah, I just want to see how it plays out with hourly fair value gaps and hourly PD arrays, if that makes sense. So we have one here. Asian, London, and then we kind of kept down here. We went down, and then we reversed here. So this one is just one that didn't play out that nicely. No, Asian, London, and then maybe we're finally going to the Asian high on this one. Let's see. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so this one, Asian was coming up. London swept the low, not the high. New York swept London low, and then we swept the high. And that's why I love that sessions indicator. It kind of tells you, like, hey, like, alrighty, we're up. Now let's see if we get reversal. This day didn't play out for us, but this was an hourly fair value gap, and that's why I'm trying to stick to the hour time frame, because sometimes the 4 hour and the daily will confuse you, like it kind of did for me today. And it is what it is. There's just gonna be days I'm not gonna catch every trade, and that's fair. I have to deal with that. But yeah, that was this day. We came up at the 9 o'clock candle, got into this hourly gap, and then we came down. So that's why I'm pairing it with the hour gap. It works. I mean, with the hour time frame, it works really well. So 9, 10 o'clock reversal. You know I love that 10 a.m. reversal. Next day. Next New York session. All right, this day we already kind of did our power of 3 at 8:30. We do have liquidity here, so at this point we might just continue running. We might reverse at one of these points. This one is the unsure one. This is why we're looking. This is why you practice. This is why you back test. Boom. A nice push off that. Let's see the 10 a.m. candle. Boom. And this is why, that's kind of what happened today. We had an undecisive candle, but obviously we're bearish. I mean, we're bullish. And then the next candle ran up, but let's see if it actually reverses. Yeah, this is exactly what happened today. The 9 candle was a little confusing, and then we ran up a little longer for those beautiful trades. We already swept sell side at 8:30, so it was giving a continuation. But this is move for me. I feel like on the 5 minute or 3 minute, this is not gonna look like that big of a move. Let's see if we push to the second one at least. Yeah. I think it's the end of the day. Yeah, it's the end of the day anyway. What does this look like on the 5 minute, 3 minute? I like that 3 minute chart. See, 8:30 got it this time. 10 o'clock we got So you would have got a little trade from 10 o'clock just to this liquidity here. That's really all you got. That's all you got. And then we did tap into a 3-minute fair value gap here, which is beautiful. Yeah, it's nice. It's a decent trade. Confident in your bias, and or wait for a reaction. If we don't invert this gap when we close out of it, get in the trade. Then your entry will be a little smaller, but still a safer trade. But yeah, clearly going up to these highs. That was just one of those days, But you see how the sessions really show you, like, hey, we swept Asia and London. Now our highs are here. This one, and it, honestly, usually, how I usually trade the sessions is if it's like a market maker sell, a market maker buy. So if we came down, usually we kind of want to see a reversal. We came down, we went a reversal up. We came up a little bit on a reversal up. It's just those days like today where it really runs, where it's really already running down so much, then you can be like, hey, we're not going up. Even here, we got a nice little reversal up. It was quick up into this gap. I'm trying to see. Well, this was giving 9:30 came into this gap, and then 10 o'clock we kept going down. Is what this day seemed to be giving, because this is 9, and then 10 it pulled back for us. 1 o'clock down. Let's go to the next New York session. This is it. You should be backtesting this every day. Okay, this is one where it's looking like we came up, London manipulated. It looks like New York wants to continue to the previous day low, downward. We also have a gap here. So let's see with that. At least come down here or maybe bounce off the gap. Let's see. Okay, so it did bounce off the gap at 9 o'clock. Then it's been trading kind of sideways ever since. Is there another target on the buy side? There is one here. Let's see if we take it. That's still only noon, just so y'all know. Boom, daily lows, like I called. Like I called, daily lows. This would have faked some people out, but let's see what this looks like on the 3-minute. Came up, London manipulated, New York at 9:30 swept the highs, and then we got our 10 a.m. reverse. Let's go to the 3-minute, see what that looks like. Where? 10 a.m. Oh yeah, perfect, right at 10 a.m. Did come down. So what would this trade even fucking look like? If you had your stop loss here and gotten early, because y'all know me, I like to trade super early, so I would have tried getting this set up somewhere in here. Luckily, it did not stop me out. If I would have had a trade somewhere in here, I don't see one at all. For real, until unless you want to inverse this gap, then your entry is very shitty. It's very shitty. Or you finally waited for it to reverse down here, which I don't think. Again, a lot of us are just impatient as traders. Let's be serious. Let's be serious with ourselves. So, fuck, where would I have gotten in this trade? Maybe, I mean, the candle closes way down here. That's a big stop loss. It's not very nice. I mean, it did go all the way to the daily low though. So it's still a 1 to 2. So I've said that if it gives you a big stop loss in a late entry, it still usually gives you a 1 to 2. I personally would not. But yeah, that's really the entry. There's no fair value gap here because this green candle wicked already down here. Maybe if I waited for a pullback in the fair value gap, but I just never do that. It's a better entry. And then maybe if someone waited for inverse of these after the run up, but I'm sure some of us would have got in. Or maybe we waited. Maybe with none of this, no gaps, we might have waited for it to come back up in the reverse at noon. And I've been in trades like this plenty of times. This is how I got funded. I get in a trade, the entry's a little bad, it wants to trade all sideways on me, and then around noon, 11 o'clock, it finally wants to dump for me. This happens to me kind of often. These fat ass stop losses that I keep having. This is what it is though. It's a great trade. Next, New York session. And this is just the ICT sessions indicator is the one I use for my sessions. You can use any sessions indicator. This is a regular sessions indicator by FX Replay. And then just make sure your time are ICT kill zones. Okay, this one is giving consolidation, manipulation, distribution. However, and we're in a 1 hour, the gap from yesterday. So it's giving you when it wait for it to come out of it, or see if it maybe sweeps the highs. This is a good day for just a straight high and low situation. Let's see if we get one. I keep forgetting to mark out 10 o'clock too. I trade 10 o'clock. Okay, we're gonna come out of the gap. If not, we're gonna push. I think we could push to that high though. Boom. There it is. And do we keep pushing? Or do we finally get a reversal? Okay, we don't. We just kept pushing. This is one of those days. That's why I said some of these days where it just keeps pushing, it's hard to tell. As most of us, we like a liquidity sweep reversal type situation going on. You just might not get it, and that's okay. You just don't trade today, or you would just have a bias. That I think obviously once we invert this gap, we could have gotten some buys. I mean, sheesh, it's taking out a bunch of highs. There's a lot of equal highs resting up here though. Let's see if it takes its way all the way up there. Did it hit it? Oh, it's a new day. It's a new day. Okay, well, anyway, this is 10 o'clock, so that's still a good run. If you caught this trade, I probably wouldn't have traded today. I didn't see a good enough setup for me to, like, you know. I mean, it's a good run though, because I just feel like this gap here. But we all seen this in my backers. I hate big gaps like this on higher time frames. This is still a big move, but we don't have really a confirmation if we want to go up or down until we close out of it. And by the time you close out of it, you're already at my target. So that's why it's like I don't like days like this. But let's look on a 3 minute and see if we got something. Could have been just one of those days where you just had to like. I mean, we did get nice. We got a nice inverse for value gap here. So yeah, once we close back above it, I'm starting to like the inversion for value gaps that happened right at 10 o'clock that happened today. You can kind of trade those if you're not confident in your day and just take it to the next liquidity point. So really your trade would have been, I mean, I wouldn't have held it that long if I got in. I would have did, yeah, 1 to 2.2. Something like that. Those little inverse at 10 o'clock. That's why I say, like, don't worry about before 9 o'clock if you trade at 10 o'clock. Because you could be like, oh, we're going down off of this little market structure shift, like kind of what happened today, and it did not. It came down, closed below, and then ran up the rest of the day. That just happens sometimes. We can go to the next New York session. I'm still paper trading, but hopefully I feel like I could be going back to my live account tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, on Monday. Sorry, did you say something? Hey, LaKara. Reading the chat. So what's your lookup? What does that even mean? Yeah, the chat's usually pretty quiet when we backtest because I'm just going with the shits. Okay, so we have, it looks like we might continue lower to these lows. Asian and London, we're already kind of reversing. We did take out this low already though, so we're gonna see if we want to come back higher. Let's see if there's a 1 hour gap for us somewhere. There is one right here. So we come out of that gap and maybe take it to one of these liquidity points. It's probably going to go down there at 10 o'clock. Well, I mean, before 10 o'clock. Also, hold on the 1 hour, there is a bunch of gaps in here. Let's give us some room for a trade to play out. In case 10 o'clock we need to continue lower. 3-minute chart, my new favorite chart. And it went up. Then reverse. What is that? Sweeping that London liquidity. Still need to wait for it to come out of this gap before you get in sells, or if it comes back out of the gap again, that's buys, like that. Then you're in your buys. And that's fine. Now I just want to go to Asian highs, I'm guessing. Yeah. Oh, it actually just kept running for you. It kept running for you. Let's look at that on the 1 hour. It did keep running, but yeah. These little pullback inverted provided gaps at 10 o'clock. Very nice. Very, very nice. This is just a candle close out of this red gap, but there is still an inverted provided gap right here if you want to enter off that. And then your entry would be the candle close after it. But let's look at this on the 1 hour. Yeah. Came down, and reversed, took out the highs. This is what I said, this is what mostly happens. Those days it runs up like this, they're just so rare, honestly. Usually they like to balance each other out like this. Like if we run up, we want to come down, take out Asian. If we go down, we want to come up and take the high of Asian. That's usually what happens. Got nothing to really talk about, just watching. I thought so. Most of the time when we backtest, we just watching how I backtest. Some days, the chat is popping. The chat was more. I'm starting to do lives after I trade because I still like going on live with y'all, but not while I trade at the moment. But yeah, it just likes to. This one just ran up that day. I should have maybe had a target. I don't know. Don't care. The days where it just runs up. Most of us ICT traders, we trade like reversals. We need some kind of reversal, and that's just how we trade. That's how we learn. And so continuations are just a little hard. That's why I like that inverted provided gaps, because it gives me something to kind of play a small reversal off of. But next New York session, okay, it's looking like Asian is here. I can make him darker too. I feel like it's hard to see for y'all. It's a little darker. There we go. Nothing too crazy. Like that. Okay, Asian, London, New York. So Asian low was not swept. Asian high was swept. Daily high was swept. So it's giving. We do want to come down to maybe the previous day. Let's go back. We're in this gap here. Like I said, all I trade is, okay, we're not in this gap. We've kind of inverted this gap, but if we go higher, target is far as hell. So I don't know if we want to go higher, but I think we're going to go lower, but who knows? Let's see what 10 o'clock brings. Asian and London liquidity is very close, so okay, that's a big ass hammer candle. Okay, now 10 o'clock look like it swept this 9:30 liquidity. and wants to reverse. Let's let the candle play out though, because again, the candle has to fully play out. Now we're out of the range. That's when you would go to your lower time frame. I mean, I still don't see a fair value gap to inverse. There is one here if you want to wait for it to tap into it. Some people trade like that. It came up. It didn't quite tap it, but it came up for you. So maybe you got in the end of this green candle. And then you don't even have to take it all the way down to that daily low, because that's still a good run. 1 to 2.5. Does it give it to you? Oh, it doesn't give it to you. Nasty. It came to this liquidity, but didn't go to that second one I wanted. That's fine. That's fine. And then it runs up. What time is it? 11:30. I mean, you could take that trade. I take one trade a day though. So if I was sitting on the charts, I'm starting to set and forget, but I technically don't. I sit on the charts, I watch a show or something, and I wait. So I might have closed this early for some kind of profit. Maybe even here, hopefully. Maybe, or it's just a loss. The stop loss wasn't that bad. I'm not mad at that. I'm not taking a second trade, but if you wanted it, we finally inversed this gap back to the upside. So let's see if it goes up to that line. Some people revenge trade, you just want to make sure, boom, yeah, it went up to that line. Once you inverse a bearish gap to the upside, that's why inverse fair value gaps are so powerful. You wouldn't have got out into the I mean, we did have a small candle close right before, but you probably would have got in on that one. Boom, 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 boom. And let's look at what that looks like on the 1 hour for the profile. Sometimes you just can't tell. So it did continue up, which is my original bias, but once we swept this high here, I was like, oh, we could go down. But we didn't. Actually, it might be a power of 3, actually. It's actually trading kind of sideways. It's not even an up. It's trading sideways. Yeah, we swept the sell side, and then we went up. That was your entry, actually, the power of 3. Sometimes it's hard to tell, because sometimes London kind of like it was going up, but it wasn't. It's all red, which means zigzag, like sideways. Accumulation, manipulation to the downside, distributes. Now that we see that, we would have traded very differently. We would have waited for this sell side to get taken and then get in the buy trade. You still could have waited for the inverse if you wanted it. But you would have gotten in on an inverse back to the upside. So this would have been your trade, which is a way better trade if you had your bias, as in bullish, for the power of 3. A 1 to 4. Very nice trade. I'm still working on this myself, so. But yeah, nice accumulation. Yeah, London did look like it was trying to do something, but it wasn't really a move up because it came up and then it came down in London. If this just kept running up, maybe I would assume we were coming down. However, at 8:30, traders got a nice manipulation to the upside, distribution down to the downside, but then us 10 a.m. traders. And like I said, I like to take bigger moves, but this is still a decent move. I used to trade these 8:30 moves. But yeah, that 10 o'clock move is still bigger. That's why I was like, you don't give a fuck about what happens for 10 o'clock, because your move is usually the biggest one of the day. But that's just a simple, not simple, but a power of 3, a little harder to see, honestly, because this is still a good little move. But yeah, I got a little accumulation, distribution, manipulation, distribution. Okay, next day, and that's why we're practicing this now. People act like it's so easy to see. Like this one, I don't even know what the fuck is going on in this one. So we have clearly sideways trading. We have kind of manipulated to the upside a little bit. Let's look at the 1 hour. Yeah, we've manipulated up a little bit, so I don't know if we're going to go up or down for real. So let's just wait. Daily high, daily low. No gaps in here. So let's just see what happens. Alrighty. Swept. All before 10 o'clock so far. So it's getting sales right at 10 o'clock. At least to these London Asian lows. If not, an hourly low or something. Let's see what the 3-minute is showing us. There is an inverse here. Again, no trades before 10 o'clock, so we just would have got in right at 10 o'clock. Oh, it's another big ass stop loss that I don't like. Maybe do it tighter just for safeties. I mean, if you want the London low, you can keep that stop loss real tight. And then just make it like this. But let's see if we get 1 to 5. I don't know if I'm confident we're going to the daily low. We might. Let's see. Could be wrong. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It actually came back to tap that inverted fair value gap if you wanted your entry there. I just feel like it doesn't pull back often, but maybe it does. It could be wrong. Like I said, I get in 10 a.m. What time is it? 11, almost noon. We can see if it goes to the daily low. I'd still sit on the chart for that. Boom. Right after 1 o'clock. It hit that daily low for a 1 to 4 almost as well. So accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Power of 3 with the sessions. That one was kind of clear. It was kind of confusing because we had this big high up here, but it just took out that high. Yeah, that's just what you gotta do. Use these sessions to help you. Cause I used to watch people trade, and I'm like, what is this indicator? And I'm thinking it's like, this is like 10 a.m., 9 a.m. I mean 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. But no, it's actually like Asian, London, like hours of time. And then New York, you get your move. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Next one. And you don't have to use these if you don't like this. I just want to spice up things we back test. But I like this actually. I mean, we do have a London low. We do have our Asian London low, and then we have the daily low that looks like we're already close to. There's a big ass gap here that we're already in to go higher from. And then we already are coming out of this giant red gap on the 1 hour. So I really don't like when there's two gaps close like this, and they're big as fuck. So maybe it's giving liquidity sweep reversal back to the upside. London did kind of manipulate Asian, so I feel like at 10 o'clock, if we could keep going lower, if we don't already hit it before 10 o'clock, like that, it already took all the liquidity from us. Not all of it. There's still this one here, but does it want to go all the way down to these lows? Let's go down. Obviously, this is a 1 hour chart, so this is probably like 30 minutes into the hour. You can go down to a lower time frame if you want to see if you can get in. That's up to you. We did candle close out of the gap, so that'd be your entry. One 1.5, that's decent, but I wouldn't take it. I'd be a little scary for the reversal, which we seem to not get either. It didn't stop, or just stopped us out at 1 o'clock, but you don't really get either. That's why I don't like big fair value gaps. Y'all know me, I don't like trading around big fair value gaps. Oh, is it finally pushing down? almost the end of the day. 4 o'clock. So not the best. Not the best. 9:30 traders got a little more, but still not the best. Not the best action. And that happens sometimes. The 8:30 traders, nope. The 6 a.m. traders got the move today. 8:30 traders got a good move. You caught in here. We got our accumulation, manipulation, distribution to the downside. 10 a.m. it just kind of came down too far. Unless you waited for whatever this is. I don't see a gap for that though. There's not a gap for that. There is a breaker block if you wanted it. 1 to 1.8, 1 to 1.5 technically if you wanted it. Just take it to the low, one of these lows made in the trade, and just get out. You know, that's not the best price action, honestly. So it's like, that's why when you get good at trading, you do sit through all this, because you never know what time it's going to come. But for me, I don't have the patience. I have to get on at one time frame, one time of the day, and move on. Next New York session, hour chart. Alrighty, we still have this low here. And we do have a gap that lines up with the low. And then we have a gap up here if we want it. So it's giving maybe come down sweep. We are trading sideways in Asian and London. So this is the manipulation to distribute up here. You can wait to take it from this gap. There is a gap here too, but I think we've already touched it and inverted it already. So let's just see how this plays out. That's why we practice training our eyes to see these things. Beautiful. Is this 10 a.m.? No, this is 10 a.m. So let's see if we come out or inverse. All right, coming out at 10 looks like, and then we don't. We continue. So at that point, see how far it goes down. There's a gap under here. There's so many from this run up. Next liquidity point is down here, so let's see. Okay, so it actually went all the way down, which is good. Okay, so this is one of those continuation plays. With London manipulating Asian high, and then us distributing in New York. So that's just one of those things. How would I have caught this? Probably not. Probably not. As y'all saw, I thought we might come down in reverse. But I guess this manipulation in London was strong enough. But honestly, once we inverted this gap, maybe, but then what was this, 10 a.m.? So yeah, I would have took the inverted gap of this 10 a.m., this hour candle. I'd take that, and just take this big candle. I would have done that. Stop loss above the gap. As long as I get a candle close, if I'm wrong, with a strong candle like that, I would have took that. I'm not gonna lie. I'll trade off higher time frame, just nice run up candles. Let's see what it looks like on the 3 minute though. 10 o'clock. Yeah, wicked in, came out, and then came back down again. Yep, it would have been right at this candle here. Or maybe this one if you're really thinking about it. But this here is still it's a invert, and it's a break of structure from this swing low. So, and came back and tapped it for a nice little run. And it kept going, honestly, if you wanted more. So yeah, so it's like sometimes you can be wrong and you can just trade. It'll give you something. But sometimes you might just not trade. And I'm learning that with my funded account. Now that I'm funded and I trade my live account, like there's just some days I will not trade. If I don't see nothing or I see it too late like today, it's just not worth it. It's not worth taking a loss anymore, which is good. Which is really good actually. That's all right. I don't know what this one's gonna do either actually. Is London manipulating? Is New York distributing? Or do we want to come lower? I mean, they're still distributing. New York coming lower. Let's see if there's a gap somewhere. There's not. There's obviously a bunch on the sell side. Let's do the furthest. Always do the furthest one if there's two next to each other. Always. Maybe we'll sweep the London high, or maybe this internal sweep is already the sweep. Maybe we just go higher. Let's see. There still is this gap up here. Okay, so it went up. It just went up. It didn't come down. It didn't come down. See, you just gotta. All right, this is 10 a.m. This is 9. This is 10. Maybe we can go up to this high of here into this next gap. That's a 1 to 1.3. It's not that great, but maybe we reverse out of this gap. That's why I hate taking trades at 10 a.m. close to a gap, honestly. Because if it reverses out of it, let's see, was I right? Did it go up to these highs? It did. Scared money don't make. Oh wait, no, it didn't. It still can, but I don't know what was that. 2 o'clock news. Oh yeah, FOMC probably. So yeah, it did go up, and FOMC goes up like 90% of the time. So if you had to take profit there, that was a good trade. I wouldn't have held it for anything longer, but that trade here. Yeah, to those highs, was decent. Just gotta trust yourself. I'm in a point right now for some reason where I'm not trusting myself, so I'm just watching, which is fine. It's better than losing money. You know, there's no rush in this process. You gotta do what you gotta do for yourself. Okay. I mean, London looks like it manipulated to the downside already into this hour gap. So it's looking like buys. I didn't mean to do that. But we're already almost at our target. But let's see if we can mark out some other ones. But these are basically equal highs. And then there's one here and one here. Let's see how that plays out. 10 o'clock. Nice power 3 to the downside. Like I called, going up to those highs. This is actually a really good trade because it took us down first. So how red that 10 a.m. candle looked for a nice power of 3. Let's see what that looked like on the 3-minute. 10 a.m. here, we came down, did a little internal liquidity sweep. I've noticed it does this too sometimes. It'll sweep the liquidity made at before 10 o'clock. Then you get a nice regular fair value gap tap entry here for a nice tight stop loss, and you honestly could just took it to the high from 9:30. Honestly, yeah, it's 1 to 4. You don't even need to get greedy and take it to the other one. It's a nice trade. Not a nice trade. I know somebody out there be having fun with FOMC. A lot of people do actually. if you follow Say Yes with Jess, she actually has strategies on how to trade news. But FOMC is like predictable. I've seen it happen so many times. It comes down into a fair value gap on the sell side, and then it just runs up. It's not that hard to trade. And then after that, it kind of comes down to take out the data low, like in 90% of the time. I was trading the silver bullet at 2 p.m. and that's how I caught FOMC a few times. And it's beautiful, beautiful, because with that I was trading just fair value gap taps. So it would just happen my fair value gap and then run, and I'd be like, oh well, boom. But yeah, this is a great trade. I know a guy who it sweeps and then runs to the draw. Yes, long and shorts. Exactly. It's very, FOMC probably is the easiest news to trade in my opinion. That's the one. I think that's the one where everyone's like gambling. News is gambling, but everyone's like, well, not FOMC. Sheesh. Ran up the rest of the day for that one if y'all were holding it. So what did that look like? Manipulation, but we still came down first into this gap. And that's why I like the 1 hour time frame, because it's like this one is giving, we already kind of want to inverse that thing and take it to previous day lows. That's what it's looking like, but let's see. Gotta be adaptable in these markets. Boom, that's why you wait. That's why you wait. 10 o'clock. I mean, then it's 10 o'clock. Yeah, so we got that nice hammer. But where would be the next target? Because that previous day high is not doing it for me. That's lower. Because the previous day's high is here. So where would we target after that? Sheesh. Well, let's just do the second gap. Like I said, if there's two gaps next to each other, do the furthest one. So if you're looking for gaps on the top side, the tallest one, the bottom side, the lowest one. So I guess that can be the target, this red gap. If you want it, it might just reverse at these previous day highs. I don't know. Let's see. I'm not gonna put on the trade because I just want to see. I'm not confident in this. Looks like the chart isn't confident in it either. All right, finally pushing previous day's highs out of here. We're gonna keep pushing. Yeah, that's a nice move though. Are we getting a reversal from a little regular liquidity sweep, or is this just a pullback to go higher? All right, this is the end of the day anyway. Sorry. This is the end of the day. So yeah, that was it's not the best, but if you got in right at 10 o'clock, took it to these daily highs, maybe just had your stop loss very tight. Not even. It came and almost stopped your ass out. So this is not a good trade. The risk reward is not good. The swing lows here, that's why I was hoping we went. It gave us something more, but it did not. Let's see what the 3 minute looks like. Yeah, the 3 minute is giving you the trade. I mean, what time is this? 11:30. I mean, so you could have took this down trade to this fair value gap, or this longer trade the rest of the day up to the daily high. This probably is better, and then you could have had a tighter stop loss. It's a tiny red candle here. So this would have been a day where you just go off your bias. Like if you're looking for buys, you could have waited for buys. If you wanted sells, you could have took sells off the inverse of this gap. Once the candle closed, that would be, I mean, you wouldn't know where it would stop. I mean, yeah, you wouldn't know where it was going to stop. So if you had your buy one was, but I'd like to wait for it to come out of a gap. But I also learned that that's what's fucking me up. If it's a big ass gap like this, I cannot be waiting for it to come out if the daily high is right here. I mean, if you wanted, you got it. You got this stop loss here. Not some scary shit I would trade, but I'm looking like, listen, just go to the lower time frame and get a trade. Trust your bias. I don't like trading a bias, that's the problem. But this is a big gap. It's a bullish gap. We were trading up on it, and then we finally came into it. 9:30 we closed, and we came out of this one to go up on the 3 minute. So this is good signs of like, don't be scared. Actually, we came into it again. So you really could have had your entry right here if you're one of those traders with a strong bias. Like, I'm bearish as fuck. I mean, I'm bullish as fuck today. I don't trade like that. So I would have waited for a reversal out of it. But I need to be less, like these big gaps, trade them the color they are if it's their first time in them. The second time we go in them, that's a little different. But if it's the first time we're in this bullish gap, play buys. Green buys, red sells. That's something I need to learn for stick to for myself as well. Like, on the 1 hour, we came into it for the first time. We should be bouncing out of it. You see what I'm saying? Play that, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? If it's a red one and we just came into it, because you don't even need to fully come out. You saw how good that trade was. That's how Key Flow Trade says. Like, he takes trades in gaps all the time. He just takes it from, you're in a gap, wait for it to come to a liquidity point, and then get out. And then if it just reverses and inverts from there, it doesn't matter. You got your trade on the 1 minute, the 15 second, or whatever. So there's that. I think I'm going to continue doing this tomorrow as well. Looking at the daily profiles, hourly gaps, over 4 hour gaps. Because I just said I don't trade that long, and I feel like sometimes the 4 hour confuses me when this is, the hourly is what's happening immediately, and the 15 minute obviously is my favorite. The 15 minute was clear today, if y'all want to see it. The 15 minute was very much like, where was it? Here. We pull back a nice like hammer to the upside to get in buys right at 10 o'clock. But all the other ones were like, this was like a big wick for some reason on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. So, you just gotta bounce the time frames. But a nice move up, got a nice inversion. I think I'll be good to trade on Monday, back with my live account and stuff, and now I'll go live after I trade. And then what I'm trying to what I was doing today is this daily profile. He talks about like different versions of it. I just don't like how he doesn't have the sessions indicator on. He's just showing you like these zigzags and like the time frames. That's the only thing I don't like. I like when people show you with the sessions on the screen, because it's easier to see than just being like, oh, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and he doesn't do it with candles either. He does it with, the drawing. He does eventually go on the chart afterwards, but yes, tomorrow we'll backtest the same thing. Trying to catch these daily profiles and train our eyes to see them. Either way, just trading the 1 hour chart and then going down to the 3 from that. Great trade from the 3. If not, if you wanted just these 2 candles on the 1 hour, do what you gotta do. See y'all tomorrow. I probably will go live in the daytime tomorrow. We'll see. It was a great live today, so I probably will keep it up. But yeah, see y'all tomorrow. Then tomorrow night, 8 p.m. again, back testing just like this.